Hi, I'm Peter Travers, and this is Popcorn, where we tell you what's going on at the movies. And a big going on right now is a prison break drama called The Escapist, starring Brian Cox. You know, the movie's exciting, and if you want to see it and not get out of the house, you can still do that by going on video on demand from IFC Films and see it right there. We talked to Brian Cox about this movie when it debuted last year at the Sundance Film Festival, and Brian will be with us in just a second. But right now, let's take a peek at the high-tension drama that is The Escapist.
My first letter in 14 years. Telling me our little girl's a junkie. Her heart stopped twice.
She's not the mean as she is.
No. Until it happens again. I gotta see her. I gotta make things right.
Frank.
I want out, Brody.
Brian Cox, welcome to Popcorn. It's great to have you here.
Thank you for inviting me.
Could you just explain for people that haven't seen it yet a little bit about who you play?
Well, the story is this. I play a lifer, a guy who's in prison for life, called Frank Perry, who's done a few nasty deeds when he was young. And he's in for life. And he's probably had stretches in and out of prison all his life. And he's someone who stays under the radar. He's never going to leave prison. He's resigned to that fact. He has a child on the outside, because he has this photograph of this 6-year-old daughter, who is now 21. And he has never seen her since the time he was put in prison. He just absolutely didn't want to do it. And it turns out she's a heroin addict. And she's taken, her heart stopped twice, she's OD'd. So he decides that he wants to see her. And he decides he wants to get out of prison. So he enlists Lenny Drake, whose specialty is the machinery of locks and stuff like that, and breaking through steel. He knows how to do all that. Brody, who's his closest friend, who is he was a sewer man. He knows about the sewers of London, so he knows about the. And he's getting.
I don't want you to give away too many of the details for that, but what I want to get at is what this character really wants to get out.
What he wants to do is he wants unconsciously. What he's doing is he's trying to redeem his life. He doesn't know that. He doesn't know that until really near the end of the movie. But that's really what he's trying to do. He's trying one good deed in a nasty world, where he's avoided it. He's avoided it. He's just said, no, I'll stay under the radar. But of course, when you do that, fate comes and bites you in the bottom. So there's two realities. There's the escape, and there's the preparation for the escape. And it gives rise to all these other things of man dealing with mechanical things which are superseding them. And also, the system of what incarceration does in terms of just the little gestures that come out of that, and also the nastiness. The vileness of the politics. So the real villains of the piece are the other prisoners, are the people around. The authority figures are actually invisible.
Almost. Really, we don't see much of them, do we?
Don't see any of them.
This is a first-time feature director. And I want to know from you how he gets to you with this material and you say yes.
He gets to me because we did a film together. He asked me to do this little film. And he asked me through a friend of mine, a producer called Simon Ralph, who's quite a famous producer back in England. And Simon's, he's a veteran now. And he said, I think this young lad's got something. He said, would you do this little film for him? And I was back in London at that time. And it was a precursor of a bigger film that he's got called The Fourth Wall. And it was about a journalist and a photojournalist being taken to a setup somewhere like in Afghanistan or something. And we filmed in Hackney in East London. pretending it was Afghanistan. And everything seemed to be against it because it was pouring with rain. I had the flu. And it was extraordinary. And the first assistant had to leave because I think his girlfriend's mother got very ill or something odd, you know.
So one disaster after another.
One disaster after another. And then Rupert had to take over and do everything. And he was amazing. He was just amazing. And we got close and we started to talk about things, and he showed me the film and he kept in contact. And he had, I mean, amazing respect for my work, you know. Sometimes it's always difficult when people are nice about your work because it's always a wee bit overwhelming. You go, oh. And I also I was getting fed up with being always asked to support people and come up and, you know, and I don't mind it. I get paid a lot of money for doing it, so I'm quite happy in terms of following my
These little movies that you've done, where you're playing the supporting things,
right.
Being the first Hannibal Lecter, X2, The Born Supremacy,
exactly.
yeah, these little small
Well, you know, I mean,
right.
it's just, but, you know, it's so funny, you know, because in the theatre I've played a lot of major classical roles and what have you. So I said, you know, it would be I'd just like to lead from the front foot for a change, you know, rather than do what I do and do quite, you know, following my mercenary nice calling and draw my nice wages, you know. So about a month later, he came back to the house and he said, I've written this for you. And he put it there, and I picked it up. And I read it, and I was completely blown away. In fact, I sent an email to his mum. Well, not to his mum. His mum actually told me. I sent an email to him, but his mum, for some reason, got hold of it and framed it and put it up on a wall. And I sent this email to him, and I said, you know, this is what I've always dreamt about. This kind of films. This is what I love about the cinema.